Good morning. My name is Charlie Hoke. My pronouns are he, him. I have the joy of serving on your board of trustees. It's my pleasure to welcome you here this morning. If you are here for the first time, thank you for joining us. We look forward to getting to know you. We invite you to fill out one of the forms that are in the pews. Everyone present in the sanctuary today is welcome to join our in-person community time immediately following the service. Each week, we remind ourselves of our congregation's core values: connection, transformation, justice, and acceptance. Our mission is to embody these core values in our daily lives by welcoming all, inspiring compassion, nurturing wonder, and serving community. I remind you that this is the last Sunday of the spring with 2 services. Starting next Sunday, we will have 1 service only at 9 a.m. I don't need to tell you guys, you're here. We'll resume 2 services in late August. We're so glad you're with us here today. I invite those of you here in person to take a moment to greet one another.
Good morning. My name is Reverend Roger, and my pronouns are he, him. It's a joy this morning that our chalice lighter is Charles, who is age 9. Today is a special day for Charles, and also special because the whole family is here today. So Charles will come on up, and let's join together in the chalice lighting words. We are Unitarian Universalists. This is the church of the open mind, the loving heart, the helping hands. We take care of the planet Earth and each other.
Good morning. My name is Jay Cohen. My pronouns are he, him. I'm the worship associate today. Do you ever think about those moments when you did something that was really out of your comfort zone, and as a result, it sort of changed the way you approach future comfort zones? There's a key thing that happened for me when I was around 30 years old. This is back in the early 1990s. I had just made a career change. I was a corporate accountant, and I became a full-time accounting instructor at Loyola University. It was my dream to teach, and overall, it was a great career change. I love working with the young students. The big stretch came when the department chair assigned me to teach one of the evening MBA classes. At this time, Loyola's MBA program, the median age was probably around 35. We're all wearing business suits. This is pre-business casual, so we're all wearing business suits. And they're introducing themselves as in management and executive positions, and I felt so intimidated. I mean, keep in mind, I was 30. I looked like I was 20. I mean, I was still getting carded everywhere, and here I am standing in front of 45 business professionals, supposedly with something to say. And so I was so far out of my comfort zone. I mean, talk about imposter syndrome. And the key turning point for me was actually when I graded their first exams. At that point, I saw the mistakes they were making, I saw where they still needed my help, and I realized that I actually mattered, that I actually had something to offer them, and that even though they know so much more about other things, I actually know more about this, and I actually had something to give. That moment sort of permanently changed something in me about the idea of showing up. So whether it was in my profession, my volunteer work, my relationships, my justice work, I try to remind myself that while it might not seem like we're doing anything, or like whatever we are doing is not really making a big difference, we never really know the impact we're having. You know, if we think about the people who've touched us in some meaningful way, I bet most of those people don't even realize what they did for us, just like we might not realize what we did for them. And if we think about big societal movements that actually have made good changes, we never can pinpoint the exact thing that made the difference. So as much as I love my comfort, and I really do love comfort, I also believe it's important to show up in life and to help others, to bring what we have to give, to fight for justice. Whatever is calling us, whatever moment of life we're in, there will be times when we are out of our comfort zones, or when we feel like whatever we're doing is not going to make a difference anyway. The life lesson I keep getting over and over is that it's worth having the courage to keep trying. Just like in my early days of teaching, we might just be mattering in ways we don't realize. So my prayer for today is that we each find big and little ways to be bold, knowing that even the smallest acts of kindness or the most minor acts of bravery can actually make a difference. Whoever you are, wherever you are in your life journey, wherever you are in the world, you're welcome here. Please rise as you're comfortable and join us in singing Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. The words will be on the screen, and it's also number 361 in the gray hymnal.
Open Good morning and buenos dias. Wow, that was an amazing opening song. Thank you all. I needed that this morning. My name is Tristan Hansen. My pronouns are she and her, and I serve on your spiritual care team. Love is the doctrine of this congregation, and sharing the joys and sorrows of our lives with each other is one of the ways we embody love in our congregation. Those attending in person may share your joys and sorrows in the binder outside the doors to the sanctuary, and you may also email your joys and sorrows to us at spiritualcare@unitytemple.org. If you would like to talk with someone about what is on your heart, please feel welcome to contact the spiritual care team. We are here to listen and sit with you in times of both joy and sorrow. Here are the joys and sorrows that were shared this week. Many of us continue to be concerned about the overwhelming changes in our wider world and the number of individuals, families, and communities impacted by ICE seizures. Let us hold these families in our hearts. And then I would like to share my own sorrow, which is that my Uncle Keith died yesterday in hospice. And he asked to be taken outside in the garden where it was sunny in Portland, Oregon, and had some special people and family come to see him. Please keep his wife and son and our whole family in your thoughts and prayers. We know that some are holding joys and sorrows in silence, and we invite anyone who has a joy or a sorrow to come forward to drop a stone into the bowl of water at one of the 4 stations we have around the room. We invite you to engage in the spiritual practice of silence as we do this shared ritual. At the end, we will sing Spirit of Life once as a benediction. Let's begin.
Reverend Emily Gage. My pronouns are she and her. This is a prayer this morning from the Reverend Claire Feingold-Thoren, modeled after a well-known prayer by the Reverend Max Coots. Let us give thanks for a bouquet of people. We give thanks for children. Like tulips and iris, they multiply around us, making the world ever more filled with color, beauty, and new life. May we bless them as they replant themselves ever further from us, knowing that they need their own space to grow into. We give thanks for generous friends, as constant in bloom as echinacea, and whose gifts lift up our body and spirit. We give thanks for feisty friends, as indomitable as geraniums, and for continuous friends who, like bittersweet and ivy, hold on and never let go, and can never be gotten rid of. For crotchety friends, as prickly as rose bushes, their beauty a secret that is only discovered through careful gardening. For surprising friends, who at first glance seem dour and then blossom into joy as quickly as forsythia. For funny friends, silly as snapdragons, and serious friends, complex as chrysanthemums. For comfortable friends, their gentle presence as soothing as the sweet smell of lilacs. For stormy weather friends who stand by us in hard times, like lily of the valley that cannot be deterred by shade or shadow. For old friends nodding like sunflowers in the evening time, and young friends coming on as fast as flocks. For friends as unpretentious as dogwood, as persistent as pachysandra, as steadfast as azaleas, and who, like snowdrops, can be counted on to see you through the winter and remind you that spring always comes. For loving friends who wind around us like wisteria and embrace us despite our blights, wilts, and witherings. And finally, for forget-me-not friends, gone but never forgotten, their beauty lives on in our memories and hearts. For this bouquet of people who brighten our lives, each in their own way, we give thanks. Amen. We have a joyful occasion today to celebrate the dedication of 3 children among us today, 1 at the first service and 2 at the second service. And I would like to invite Charles and family to come forward. And there is, I think, a green insert in your order of service that has Charles's name on the front. You're going to need that. This is Charles, who we're dedicating today, and his parents, Mark and Christina, and this is his little sister, Caitlin.
Throughout human history, people have gathered to do as we do now, to welcome those born into our midst and to assure their parents of our love and support. We do this in recognition of the eternal mystery of ongoing life and the need for all to belong to a family and to a community of mutual assistance. And so this is the charge to the parents, Christina and Mark. Your affection and devotion will continue to cradle Charles for many years, but the larger world will offer no such assistance. You must help him to find his own strength, to face it, and to be a real person in his own right. You would have him know deeply his own worth. You would give him moral support and guidance, and you would offer the joys of safe but challenging communities of faith, of family, of fellowship. And so we charge you to prepare Charles to be an adult, aware of the world as it ought to be, aware of the power of dedicated individuals to change its course, and aware of the power of love to redeem and transform, if that love has courage as well as affection. So Christina and Mark, Will you dedicate yourselves this morning to the sacred responsibility of parenting your child and to that way of life that will fill his heart with memories of gladness, love, and wisdom? If so, please answer, we will.
Okay, Charles, we're going to bless you with 4 elements. And the first one, we're going to bless you with water, which is symbolic of the spirit of life, and as it touches every shore and nourishes all people. And the water is from our congregation's water communion ceremony, so it's from many different sources and many different journeys, and it comes with our wisdom and stories to help you along the way. We bless you with water with a prayer that you will grow in reverence for our common humanity. I'm going to put it on your forehead, okay? Is that good? Or would you like me to put it here? Here. Is that good?
And Charles, we will now bless you with earth, symbol of strength and groundedness. We pray that you, like all who dwell on the earth, will know that your body is good. May you use your sacred power and agency to make yourself fully at home in your sacred body. And I'm going to take a little bit of dirt and put it on the same spot. And most of it will fall off.
Charles, we're going to bless you with the fire of our chalice. You don't have to touch it, you can just look at it. The fire of our chalice is a sign of our faith, with the prayer that you will honor your passion, your deepest convictions, and that you will let your inner light shine brightly.
And lastly, we bless you with air. The sustenance, the breath of life. You will be inspired by the spark of the divine within you. May you honor this inspiration and in time be a source of inspiration for others.
Charles, we're going to give you a flower, unique in all its natural beauty, separate and distinct from all other flowers in creation, to express symbolically our hope that all your life long you will unfold and blossom just as you must in all of your own unique and natural beauty. We have removed the thorns to symbolize the way that, especially when you are young, your parents and the grown-ups around you will help protect you and keep you safe as you learn and grow.
Charles, we welcome you into our midst and into our keeping and into our hearts. May you always know that whoever you are, wherever you are on your life journey, you are welcome here.
In our faith tradition, the primary blessing a child receives is not from a religious leader, but from the religious community that shall sustain them. I invite you all to join me in dedicating Charles by turning to the responsive reading found in your order of service.
But first, I have a question for all the children and young people, as you like to define that are here. So this child gathered here now is officially part of our church family. Will you help him, this is for the children and young people, play with him and learn to grow with him? If so, I'd love you to say, we will. We will.
I invite you all to join with us in the words of our dedication responsive reading. It is our faith that each child is one more redeemer. Each new life comes to us as a gift and makes its demands, exacts our attentiveness, and blesses us.
Are you ready to dedicate yourselves to Charles and to assisting his family?
Will you strive to love and cherish Charles in times of struggle as well as gladness?
Amen.
Welcome, Charles. Thank you so much.
What a joy. Each week, Unity Temple splits the offering evenly. One half supports the programs and mission of our congregation. This week, the other half will support the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee. UUSC advances human rights and social justice around the world, partnering with those who confront unjust power structures and mobilizing to challenge oppressive policies. Their work is grounded in the belief that all people have inherent power and dignity. The UUSC began in 1939, helping refugees escape Nazism in Europe. They continue to do important work globally and here in the United States, where they have been a leader in helping UU congregations support trans individuals and families escaping states with oppressive anti-trans laws. You can find more info at uusc.org. May we be transformed by our giving, and may the world be transformed by our gifts.
If you are somebody who likes to come close when you're listening to a story, I invite you to come down here and sit on the floor near me. I'm going to need some flower helpers, so I hope you're going to come down. So today we are celebrating Flower Communion, which is one of the few celebrations that is uniquely Unitarian and now Unitarian Universalist. Does anybody here remember anything about Flower Communion? Every year I ask, and every year no one remembers. It's a celebration. Oh, Charles, you know something. Yeah, we give out flowers. Yeah, that's really the most important part, honestly. So this celebration is about 102 years old or so pretty long time. It's a celebration that was started by a couple named Norbert and Maya Čapek in what was then called Czechoslovakia. Now it's the Czech Republic. So the Čapeks first found Unitarianism in the United States. Their family had left Czechoslovakia during World War I because it wasn't safe for him to speak and write all the ideas that Norbert had. Especially, they were looking for a congregation where they knew their questions and their ideas would be welcome. And their kids helped them find a Unitarian congregation. And they found it because their children loved coming to the religious education program in Orange, New Jersey. In 1921, the Čapeks moved back to Czechoslovakia, which was now a free and independent country, and they started their own Unitarian church there. They did such an amazing job that their congregation grew to about 3,200 people. Can you imagine? And they helped plant little churches all around the country. So there were about 8,000 Unitarians in Czechoslovakia. The church, though, was very plain. They didn't have any decorations. They did not have a Frank Lloyd Wright building. They just had hard wooden chairs to sit in. They didn't sing. They didn't have candles or a chalice. Worst of all, you guys, they had no cookies after the service. I know, right, Michael? The people would just listen to Norbert Čapek preach and talk, and they would then talk amongst themselves and go home. So in 1923, Čapek wanted to create something beautiful in his church that would connect everyone to each other. It was springtime, and he looked all around him, and he saw all the beautiful flowers. He thought about their beauty, and he thought about how the flowers made him feel, and he got the idea for a flower ritual. There was a lot of need for healing in the Czech Republic in 1923, all over the world, and especially in Europe. Everyone was still recovering from World War I and a global pandemic that had come at the end of the war. We know about stuff like that. So he asked everyone in his congregation to bring a flower the next week. And the congregation, since they were Unitarian, had a lot of questions. What color of flower should they bring? What kind? What size? And so on and so forth. And do you know what Čapek said? He said, choose whatever kind you like. And that day, so many years ago in 1923, people brought all kinds of flowers. And when they saw all the flowers gathered together like this here, they thought about how that gathering of flowers is like ourselves. All different colors and shapes and sizes, all needing different kinds of care, and each one is beautiful and important and special, just like each one of you is beautiful and important and special. And each one of us can heal and connect with each other and with the world. And when they saw all the flowers gathered together, they thought about how each one of us is an agent of healing and connection. And that's the story of the first flower communion, but it's not the end of the story because here we are, 102 years later. Not long after that first flower communion, another difficult and scary time came to Europe. Nazis seized Czechoslovakia, and it became dangerous to speak out again. And this time, Norbert decided to stay and fight, not with weapons, but with words. He was arrested for speaking out against the Nazi occupiers. And when he was released, he refused to stop speaking, and he was arrested again, and this time he was sent to Dachau, where he was killed. But that was not the end of the story either. Norbert's wife, Maya, came back to the United States, and she shared the flower communion with her congregation in Cambridge, Massachusetts. And from there, it spread to almost all the Unitarian Universalist congregations in the United States, and they celebrate it in Prague and the Czech Republic again, and in other places around the world. So when we do flower communion, we remember Norbert and Maya. We remember their courage and compassion and their welcoming, inclusive spirit, and we celebrate, as they did, the beautiful and healing power of a flower and of each person. So in your order of service, there is a purple insert with a flower communion litany, and really your job all of you is to say, may these flowers be blessed. Infinite Spirit of life, we ask your blessing on these messengers of fellowship and love.
May these flowers be blessed. May they remind us, amid diversities of knowledge and of gifts, to be one in desire and affection and in devotion to your holy will.
May these flowers be blessed. May they also remind us of the value of comradeship, of doing and sharing alike.
May these flowers be blessed. May we cherish friendship as one of your most precious gifts.
May these flowers be blessed. May we not let awareness of another's talents discourage us or sully our relationship, but may we realize that whatever we can do, great or small, the efforts of all of us are needed to do our work in the world.
May these flowers be blessed.
Okay, so I'm going to need some helpers to take these baskets and pass them around the sanctuary so everybody can get a flower. And while we do this, we're going to sing, "From you I receive, to you I give, together we share, and from this we live." Those words are in the insert too.
since I visited Flower Communion founder Norbert Čapek's church in Prague a few months ago, I've been thinking a lot about him. He was an incredibly gifted minister whose church quickly became the largest Unitarian church in the world. And this is a photo taken in 1922, so it was 1 year after the founding. And it's before the first Flower Communion service. The church grew so much, they were having a congregational meeting and they had to rent fancier space than Emily described for their services. And it is quite an amazing picture. After the Nazis took over his homeland, Čapek faced a very difficult decision: do as the Nazis commanded or resist. If he did as they ordered, maybe he could save himself, his family, his congregation. And as we remember each year, as Reverend Emily reminded us, he courageously chose to resist with words. And we remember that he paid the ultimate price, execution at Dachau. Norbert's wife fled to the United States, and she introduced the Flower Communion to the American church in Cambridge, Massachusetts, while Norbert was still alive at Dachau. From there, it spread across the United States. It spread back to other parts of Europe. The Czech Unitarian Church survived and is thriving today. As Emily said, his death was not the end of the story. It was not the end of his dream, his life work. And each year, this service reminds us his dream, his life work is ours too. So every year at this time of year, I also think of the amazing days in 2014 when marriage equality suddenly came to Wisconsin, where I was serving a congregation. In the county where I lived, we had, in a neighboring county, we actually had to organize protests before the county clerks reluctantly agreed to abide by a federal judge's ruling and issue marriage licenses. In both counties, after the clerks caved to us, I got to officiate at the first same-sex legal marriage ceremonies on the steps of the courthouse of each county. This is a photo of the front page of the local newspaper about one of those. In one county, I also officiated at several more private services in and around the courthouse, and we had a mass wedding event at our congregation with lots of decorations and cake. Every congregation I've served as a transitional minister, and this is the third, has similar cherished memories of when marriage equality came to their state, and I know this one is the same. As a denomination, we showed up, we worked for marriage equality, and so we were poised to be a focal point when victory came. A confluence of showing up and the rapid shift in cultural attitudes toward marriage equality made this a shiny moment for Unitarian Universalist congregations in the United States. This was in our wheelhouse at that point from early 2000s to 2015. I want to acknowledge that an immense amount of hard work went into creating that opportunity and for this to be in our UU wheelhouse. I honor UU heroes who were ahead of our denomination and pulled us forward to the forefront, sometimes at great cost to themselves. People like Reverend Barbara Peskin, who served Beacon Unitarian Church here in Oak Park before it merged with this one. One of our rooms at the community center is named for Barbara Peskin, and it honors her courageous work as, we think, the first out lesbian minister in our denomination. Here's the thing that I'm remembering this year. Justice doesn't always look like that, like the weddings and courthouse ceremonies and mass and decorations and cake. And while I'm certain that victory will one day come in our current challenges, there's not always that kind of shiny moment of victory. It's not always that clear. I'm certain that what justice looks like in 2025 looks different than how it looked in 2014. We are in a different moment, especially with the rise of authoritarianism. In this moment, it feels especially important to remember Norbert Čapek and Maya. This moment we are in likely is asking of us a lot of risk-taking, more stepping out of our comfort zones, less certainty of success, at least soon, more messiness, and more courage. Together at Unity Temple, we're figuring out how we can individually and collectively rise to this challenge of the moment and show up. Norbert Čapek is a spiritual ancestor whose candle helps light the way for us. For his life, for his inspiration, for all that he created in the world that persists, we give deep thanks. Our closing song today is number 1030 in the Teal hymnal. The words will be up here, Siyahamba. I think there are some instruments around the room if you see those. We're going to pass them right now. Cool. So we'll get those passed out, and we will then rise in body and in spirit and join in singing Siyahamba.
Siyahamba.
closing words are from Marge Piercy. We stand in the midst of a burning world, primed to burn with compassionate love and justice, to turn inward and find holy fire at the core, to turn outward and see all the world that is one flesh with us, to see under the trash, through the smog, the furry bee and the apple blossom, the trout leaping, the candles our ancestors lit for us. May we rise to this call for compassionate love and justice. Let's join together in the chalice extinguishing words. Carry the flame of peace and love until we meet again.